Oh. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Manhood. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday is today. We are going to be going through and reading chapters 40 and 41. Second to last day here in Job, where we see how the story all ends. It's going to be good. On here. And it's fighting me. There we go. We're live there. That's good. Down. All right. Perfect. All right. We're in the game. We're going to do it. Okay. So Job 40 and 41 are where God basically asked Job just an absolutely overwhelming question, which is, can you actually run the universe better than I can? Which is just a super fun question to be asked by the God of the universe. And then he points to two absolutely terrifying and kind of mysterious creatures, one being Behemoth and the other Leviathan, as if to say, you can't handle these. What makes you think that you can fully judge how I govern the world? Right? And the chapter is about something most of us struggle with, a big issue in our flesh. Is, man, if it was me, I would do things differently, right? If I was God, like, why does God do this? I wouldn't do it in my own wisdom and might and understanding. So it's a constant theme that God is attacking directly in this chapter, which is kind of cool. All right. Before we do that, though, we're going to go in and do our daily Joshua. Hey, man, what's up? Good morning. Do our daily proverb as well as our gratitude for the day. Proverb of the day comes from Proverbs 27, and it says, let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. Nope, can't do it. I like that. I like that proverb. The idea of approaching humbly and letting others lift you up is what God calls us to do. It's cool. All right. I think I was over here, though, wasn't I? Am I just, like, stuck in this area? I think I am. Okay, gratitude for the day. First off, I'm a huge fan, and I'm just very, very grateful for the concept that we're created for, like, routine. Sorry. Created for routine and just general, like, flow of work. It's a blessing. Getting into a nice workflow is very, very good. There's no way you can jump off that. What a lie. There's no way. So grateful for that. I'm grateful for been getting to meet with some different marketing agencies recently and plan for the future. So I'm grateful for that. Gaming a high, bro. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. Mad Maddie, welcome in. Happy to have you here. Very, very happy. And then I got to try out marathon yesterday with my buddy Bull. That was fun. I had a good time with that, so I'm grateful for that as well. So there's gratitude for the day. All right. There we go. We got one. We got two. All right. Recap for where we're at inside the book of Job. We are in the last, like, 3 chapters right now, so we're right toward the very tail end. We are, up to this point in the book of Job, Job has lost everything, spent most of the book wrestling with suffering, with justice, and with the silence of God, with where he's been at in his life. It's been a huge, huge struggle for him. What is this game? This is Elden Ring. Justin, thanks for following, man. I appreciate it. So he's been struggling through this stuff. He's been struggling through the idea that, man, I'm seeing, like, evil people seem to succeed and do okay, Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that, man. I will. Heavenly Breaths, man. Good morning. Good to have you here. I'm going to start calling you Sevenly Breaths. 733. Anyway, he's been struggling with the concept of, oh, I'm going to die. Nope, we're good. We're good. The concept of like seemingly watching wicked people prosper while he suffers to the end of his life, and just the pain and suffering that comes with that. And so he's been calling out to God, saying, man, I need a mediator. I wish that I could have a direct case before God to prove my innocence, to justify myself, to show that I don't deserve this suffering. But it continues on. And his friends, the entire time wrongly, assume his pain must be punishment for sin. Job has spent all this time defending his integrity and cried out for answers. And then Elihu steps in, this young guy who kind of appears out of nowhere. Excuse me. He steps in and, he points toward the greatness of God the entire time. He may not do it perfectly, but he does point out the good. Oh, no, I'm going to die again. Okay, we're still alive. Is there a point to do what I'm doing, or am I just, like, being an idiot? Hold on, watch this. There we go. Great, we made it. Now what? What is the use of this? What are we doing? Well, yeah, okay, well, that was useless. So finally, chapters 38 and 39, God answers Job out of a whirlwind, no less. He shows up in a massive storm and answers Job, not with an explanation, but with questions for Job. We're going to see that continue here in 40 and 41, but his response is essentially, who do you think you are? Like, what gives you the right to question me and what I've done? And he goes through the entire, essentially the entire creation account of it. Brandon, thank you so much for following, man. Essentially the entire creation account he goes through, and it's like, hey, do you control any of this? Do you control the creation of everything? Do you control the weather patterns? Do you control the light and the darkness? I control all these things, and I hold them in my hand. Morning, Brian, man. Welcome in. Still no item. So that was just a useless... Look at that guy. We should shoot that guy. Zach, good morning, man. Welcome. Good to have you here. So now the focus is shifting just a bit from direct creation to power, chaos, control, and judgment is kind of where we're headed at now. Where are you from? America. The northern part, land of the free. Is there no way down? Does anyone have any recollection of this area? Vamp, thanks for liking the live. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm insane, and I feel stuck. Going up higher. Try not going up higher. All right, let's go into chapter 40. I'm actually excited to talk about this because there's cool, like, mysterious stuff here. Okay, so the Lord says to Job, shall a fault finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. So he's just got done saying, hey, stand up like a man and be ready for my questioning. And now he's ending this long line of statements about creation, about the tending to the animals, about the tending to both creatures that humans understand, that humans don't understand. And he says, do you have the ability to tend to any of these? Essentially showing the difference between Job, who's just a man within creation, and God, who is literally holding it all together from the greatest to the smallest. And he ends with, shall a fault finder contend with the Almighty? He who argues with God, let him answer it. So he's saying, Job, what do you have to say? How do you respond to what I've just said to you? I'm getting kind of frustrated with this area because I don't know where to go, and it feels very unclear. Try jumping and then tree. Okay, cool. Didn't work. Didn't work. Sri Lanka? Nice. Well, welcome in. We're happy to have you here. Mike, we're reading about that right now, dude. Stay around. This is good. That's exactly what we're going through. Oh, is this the way I needed to go and I just went the wrong direction that whole time? Donnie, you're here within like 5 minutes. I think you're good, dude. I don't think you need to stress about it. I think you did great. Okay, so Job answers the Lord and says, Behold, I am of small account. What shall I answer you? I lay my hand at my mouth. So I'm covering my hand with my mouth. I have spoken once, and I will not answer twice, but I will proceed no further. So immediately he's like, I don't have anything to say, right? I've already spoken too much. I've just spent the last few chapters going through and questioning you. And then there's just perspective brought. LA, thanks so much, man. Welcome in. God brings his perspective, and I don't think this should be taken as God being like coming in and like he's coming in a power and authority. Obviously, he's in a whirlwind, and he is showcasing his power. But what he's doing is he's redirecting the focus and the perspective of Job, which is, oh, that's a real guy. I thought that was like one of our friends who's just playing at the same time. Is he's redirecting the focus, and he's pointing out the fact that we're not God. This is the struggle that we all have. This is why. Hey, Mike, man, if you're gonna be disrespectful, dude, we can like. I don't think this is gonna be a place for you. This is all we do is just read the word and play video games. So if you want to be here, that's great. But if you're just gonna be disrespectful, we'll probably either mute or block. But I'd like for you to be here if you want to. All right. Oh my goodness, I hate those guys. I hate those guys. What did he have? Oh, there you go. Okay, lost my train of thought. Sorry. Gaming, hi, see you later, Mike. Have a good one, dude. All right, I think this is where we struggle, though, because I think a lot of us get caught up in the same thing of what... He has a lot of poise. Of exactly... So this is what's so interesting to me is, like, the entire book of Job is about the concept that God is so much greater than us, and that he owes us no defense, no judgment. And yet that is like, as you read, literally the core of the book is the fact that it's like, God is great, mankind is small, God does love us, but he holds the entirety of the universe in place, and if we call into judgment what he is doing, right, who he is and what he's doing, we are out of line in where we are in creation, right? And I think that can be hard for us because we have this desire to, God's given us authority on the earth, and so that's shifted into where we take that authority for ourselves and essentially want to be God and say, I know what it's like. And this is literally right here, like what I just got asked about, which is like, how could a good God do all this stuff, right? And that was the core of the question. Is literally what Job has been calling out and asking God this entire time. He's like, why do I seemingly see the wicked prosper, and then I myself, when I'm righteous, suffer? Why is this happening, and how is it happening? And what's going on? Like, I wish that I could stand before God, and then God shows up, and all of a sudden Job, which was what we're seeing now, I am of small account, I'm nothing. I lay my hand on my mouth, I have spoken once, I will not answer twice. It's become clear to me that I'm way out of my depth. I'm not where I want to be right now. And I think we get caught up wanting to be God in this scenario. And what's crazy is what we're about to read right here. I never thought I'd read Bible and Elden Ring together. Oh, well, welcome to the show. This is it. This is where we do it. What's crazy is, so he says, I'm not going to answer. This is literally the very next section. The Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, dress for action like a man. This is the second time he said it. So he went through the creation account in this way, and then he says it again. Dress for action like a man. I will question you, and you will make it known to me. Will you even put me in the wrong? So he's now calling back to where Job was like, hey, I see the wicked prosper, and I see the suffering of those. I see the wicked don't have any issues in their lifetime, and the righteous I see die early on, right? How do we make use of this? I don't hear from God, so I'm calling this out, that I see this inequity of what I believe is the right way that God should be. Also, Heavenly Breath, thank you for the heart, man. I appreciate it. And now God is speaking essentially directly to that, right? Will you put me in the wrong? Will you condemn me that you may be in the right? Have you an arm like God? And can you thunder with a voice like his? Can you do what I'm doing to you now? Is it possible for you to do that? Oh, man. Okay, we got him. What's hitting me? Just doing some circles. Well, there's a lot of them. Hold on. We're almost done. Nice work, everybody. We did it. Great job. Okay. Oh, I hear them. Oh, there's more on the ground. There's small ones. Where is it? We should have put our lantern on. I can't even see it. Oh, there it is. There's like 3 of them. One more. Oh, no, look. I'm trying. Hold on. First try. There we go. There we go. We got him. Okay, so this is so what's so interesting to me is like Mike over on YouTube was just asking this exact question and then wouldn't stay around for the answer. Kind of was showing that I don't think he was actually super interested in the answer. But it says you received. What does that mean? Hold on. Okay, cool. You really don't like the lantern. You know what? I'm sorry. Here you go. Look, now the 2 inches around the bottom of the horse is lit up, and we can see better. What's going on, Gollywood? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Okay, so he says, God literally says this, I will question me, you will make it known to me. Will you put me in the wrong? Will you condemn me that you may be in the right? Have you an arm like God, and can you thunder with a voice like his? Adorn yourself with majesty and dignity. Clothe yourself with glory and splendor. Pour out the overflowings of your anger, and look on everyone who is proud and abase them. Look on everyone who is proud and bring him low. And tread down the wicked where they stand. Hide them all in the dust together. Bind their faces in the world below. Then I will acknowledge you. Then I will acknowledge to you that your own right hand can save you. So essentially what God is saying to Job here is your perspective is completely warped. You think that you can bring about any aspect of clean and clear judgment, that you can take on the role that I have of both what I've just gotten done talking about, taking care of the entire creation and order of the universe and consistently maintaining it, as well as, I don't believe that. Oh, it is. It's true. Okay. As well as deal justly with people and find the exact perfect measure of grace, of mercy, and of justice, because everyone's going to be crying out for justice if someone has done wrong to them, and then the person that's done wrong to those people is going to be crying out for mercy. And where is the middle ground? Job, why don't you do it? Don't know English but love English. Well, welcome in. Hopefully, I don't know that I have the gift of tongues, but I wish I could, so I could speak directly to you and tell you the gospel. But this is answering like literally directly. Like I've had a few people here that have come in and they've been like, yeah, Job is such a perfect example of how God is not a good God, and that's literally what the book is about. The very core root part of the book is showcasing that mankind has an outsized expectation of God to prove and justify himself to them, with a complete miss of the point that God is the creator of the universe, he is the sustainer of the universe, and he is the one who judges righteously. And the concept that he went this entire way, that we look at all of our lives, any single one of us can see that inside we are desperately wicked, that we do resist God, that we do not want him. And he still, while we were still sinners, sent his son to save us, showcased a perfect combination of mercy and justice. And this is essentially what he's answering to Job out of the whirlwind now. Is, Job, you have an issue with how I have been operating? You have an issue with how I've been working with people? And I mean, think about this from the perspective of God actually answering when you speak like that. It would be terrifying. The concept that you spent this time, seemingly God has been silent in your life, and you spent this time calling out, and it's like, man, would that I just had an opportunity to speak to him, that I could just defend myself. And then he comes in and he's like, okay, Job, defend yourself. If you were to run this whole show, how would you do it? And in that moment, the entirety of the reality of what we cry out for and what we say we think we deserve completely shifts, because God is so far beyond anything. Oh my goodness, that guy wasn't very nice. God is so far beyond anything that we can even imagine. Welcome in, Robbie. Oh, whoops. Hold on. That was what I wanted. I wanted this. X-Man, good morning, man. How are you doing? Another day of work, but I'm off this weekend. Nice. I got to go to work as well. It's going to be great. Does this go down? No. It's going to be super fun. Going to get to go, and I got like 15 meetings today. It'll be great. Let's go this way. All right, so adorn yourself with majesty and dignity, clothe yourself with glory and splendor, right? Lift yourself high up into the heavens, showcase your power and authority, pour out properly the overflowings of your anger, look on everyone who is proud and abase them, look on everyone who is proud and bring them low, and tread down the wicked where they stand. Hide them all in the dust together, bind their faces in the world below, then I will also acknowledge to you that your own right hand can save you. We're reading from Job chapter 40 currently. So if you do all these things, I'll acknowledge to you, Job, that your right hand can save yourself, that you'll be fine. It's like this snake. Who's that? Job is a book in the Bible. Every day we come and we read a chapter. So we do a recap at the beginning so we get an idea of what was going on prior for those who don't know. But he's essentially gone through immense suffering and pain, and it's due to his righteousness, and he's cried out for God to respond and answer him, and we're in the process where God is actually responding and answering. Tar Buttons, welcome in. Train, good to have you, man. Good morning. How are you? Really good to have you. What's going on? How Ram Rouge? I don't know how to say it, but I'm trying to respond. What all do we got? What's this say? First off, right. Okay, we're heading right. Morning, mustards. What kind of work do you do? I find my coworkers tend not to listen, so I try to be an example. I'm not sure how well I do. What kind of work do? I help oversee and run a plumbing and heating company here locally. I know nothing about plumbing or heating, so don't quiz me on that. Welcome. I'm happy you're here. Goodbye, man. Oh, no. Oh, no. Goodbye. I'm glad you were here. Yeah. I'm glad you're back. Hold on. Better than I deserve. Amen. Amen. Me too. Me too. All right. The Elite Donut. Welcome in, man. Good morning. All right, I think I got what I needed in here. Oh. Can't hit any of them, though. We're going to die. Circle back around. Hold on. I'm really excited about this next section of this chapter. There's a lot there. And 41 for that matter, because it's the same context, or content, I mean. Great work, everybody. We did it. What does this say? No horse ahead. Okay. Just the lies. Okay. So then he moves into... So he's just got done talking about essentially the judgment of the wicked and like justice and mercy. Do you really think that you can truly provide that for people? Because you've called me out for it, and you've said that I seemingly am not holding to it. And what puts you in the perspective to think that you even understand what that would look like, right? If you can lift yourself up to my level, please show me and do it. The other thing I would bear in mind here that I find interesting is God has not directly said that anything that he had said is a sin. He essentially is just like, hey, you have a completely flawed perspective of the entire world and my power and my authority versus where you're at and what you deserve, right? And that's super hard for us to cope with because we've existed in this reality of people saying, you know, hey, God is a God of love. God is a God of this. He just loves people. He just takes care. He wants the best for you. And that's all true. Don't get me wrong. That's all true. But God is so much greater than us, and sometimes suffering is an element of our blessing. And he is powerful, strong enough, mighty enough, and knowledgeable enough to do that to us and to not be wicked for doing it. Hold on. Okay, he flew down. We're good. Let's pick this up. Oh, come on. Hold on. Oh, there's a bunch of them down here. Just a sinner saved by the grace of Jesus. Amen, dude. Me too. All right. Do you think God was part of freeing American slaves? Answered their prayers, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, I will say, from my understanding of the historical context, Christians were one of the key leading forces in the abolition of slavery in America, and I think that the driving force was a lot of that. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of evil still in the world, man. Definitely is. Is this guy just going to absolutely own me? Hold on. Is there a grace right over here that I could use real quick? Yeah, people have been using the Bible, though, for horrible things from the beginning of time, man. That's always going to happen. Always. Like, that's going to be the core of it. I mean, like, that's where a lot of pagan cult religions come from, too, is from trying to twist the Bible, twist the words of Jesus into something that they want to be and make God themselves again. And that's going to continue because all the enemy do can corrupt, twist, and try to destroy. There's no such thing as creation. And so usually the enemy takes the true reality of who God is and twist that into something else to try and destroy it, to try and destroy lives through it, to try and turn people away from it. All right, behold, Behemoth. So this is we're getting into some interesting territory here. Which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. So this is a herbivore, right? Hold on, we gotta kill this guy real quick. Now that we've rested there. Oh, that was perfect rolling timing. Okay. Yep, didn't work. We'll try it again. Did you touch that light post thing? Am I supposed to touch it? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I'll go over there and touch it after I kill this guy. We should use our dancing things. We'll just dance right around him. So, behold Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. Behold, his strength is in his loins. Oh, behold his strength in his loins, and his power in the muscles of his belly. And he makes his tail stiff like a cedar. So, there's a lot of questions about what exactly this is. Some people say hippopotamus. Some people say an elephant, though. That would mean that God was doing a very inaccurate description of both of those animals because neither of them have a tail like a cedar. Some people say it's just a... that felt like a ripoff. Some people say it's just a... okay, well, that didn't work. Oh, I should have picked up my runes. That was a mistake. It's just like a symbolic creature, like the beast of beasts of the land. I personally am of the opinion that dinosaurs were alive a lot more recently than we give them credit. Could be wrong. I'm an idiot who knows nothing, who's talking on the internet. So if anyone is just really, really confident about the age of dinosaurs, you probably know more than I do. But the way he's talking about it sounds a lot like one of those long neck dinosaurs. You know what I mean? They eat leaves, or they eat grass and stuff, and they've got massive cedar-like tails. I don't know. His sinews and of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze, and his limbs are like bars of iron. He is the first of the works of God. Usually what that means there is not necessarily that he is like the literal first creation. Could be. Usually that's like he's preeminent among creation, right? This is like Jesus being talked about as like the what's the word that's used there? Pops. Everybody these days knows more than God until they meet him. Yeah, that's been my experience as well. Blue Collar Dad Talks. Thanks for following, man. I appreciate it. Oh, I didn't have it dual-handed. I still didn't have it dual-handed. Nothing changed. I don't know why I would expect it to. I don't. All right. So is this like the Crucible Knight's brother we were hearing about yesterday? Nope. Oh, he's like got a... That's cool. Okay, well. I thought I rolled out of that. Watch this. Okay. We were close. We almost got it off. Oh, he's got all sorts of cool stuff. Oh, and his can move, too. That's good to know. Okay. All right. That didn't work. All right. So the sinews of his thighs are knit together. His bones are tubes of bronze. His limbs are bars of iron. He is the first of the works of God, or the preeminent work of God. Let him who made him bring near his sword. For the mountains yield food for him, where all the wild beasts play. So even the most uncontrolled of animals across the entire world, even the largest, most like chaos-bringing animal that in existence, God is still ordering the universe to provide and tend for that creature. Under the lotus plant he lies, in the shelter of the reeds and in the marsh. For his shade the lotus trees cover him, the willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he's not frightened. He is confident, though the Jordan rushes against his mouth. Can one take him by the eyes or pierce his nose with a snare? Eric, we get that comment quite often, man. If your conviction is to not play video games, you should absolutely keep scrolling, man. There's a bunch of stuff that's more beneficial that you can do with your time. As for me, I'm going to keep on doing this. Is what I feel like God has called me to. But probably isn't the place for you, because this is all that we're going to do. All right, so that's Behemoth, right? There's some argument about what Behemoth is, or if it's just a symbolic creature. But Behemoth, seemingly, with the way that it's described, is something that was literal as well as a symbolic representation of the largest, most like intense creature. And then we jump straight into 41, which is just a continuation of the phrase, and now we move to the largest creature of the water, right? Not Levi. Welcome, man. So, can you draw Leviathan with a fish hook? Now we're on Leviathan. So we've got Behemoth, we've got Leviathan. There is a lot of question about what these are, but seemingly God, I guess he could be talking about a symbolic creature, but he's making a very literal point based off of a symbolic creature. And with some fossils we found, I wouldn't be surprised if these things did exist. Okay, my roll timing is terrible right now. Horrible. Lucas, thanks for following, man. I appreciate it. Okay. All right. Hold on. We're doing single hits on him. Hey, we got out of that one. We got out of that one. All right. I wonder, can you rot this guy? Or is he, like, not able to be rotted? Nope. Hold on. I'm going to poison him. It's really hard to inflict rot on him. Can I inflict poison on him? Oh, that didn't work. I'm assuming I can't parry that hammer, right? Is that accurate? No, it's delayed. Oh, there's someone that's shooting flames at me over here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. He has 1 or 2 parryable attacks. Okay. Man, Lucas is bringing in all the knowledge. I like it. Okay, I can't get the delay to work in my mind. Okay, well. Does he give us something of value, or should we just leave him be? He wasn't really hurting anybody over here. All right, Job chapter 41. Can you draw Leviathan with a fish hook, or press down on his tongue with a cord? Can you put a rope in his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? Essentially, can you tame the largest beast of the entire ocean? Will he make many pleas to you? Will he speak to you soft words? Will he make a covenant with you to take him for your servant forever? Will you play with him as with a bird, or will you put him on a leash for your girls? It dawned on me as I was reading this. It was either this morning or yesterday. What really struck me is like that would have been a very, very painful question. Oh, it just tells you more of the story. Gotcha. Think about what God is saying here. So God is asking him. He's like, "Hey, can you tame Leviathan?" Which the answer is no. But he goes pretty far with the what's the word, like the illustration that he's giving. And I think one of the interesting things that I had not thought about, that I've just been kind of wrestling with in my mind, is he asks this question about, can you tame this thing? Can you do this? And then he says, will you put him on a leash for your girls? Which his children died. And this is fairly soon after that. And so it's like I don't know, it's like a pointing back to Job's lack of ability to control even his own life that he does control. Yeah, it's just an interesting thought that I had. He actually drops one of the best weapons in the DLC. Okay, well, thanks, Lucas. Now we got to beat him. All right. We're going to try the scythe on him. I think I should attack him with a... Did you see that? Okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. Juice's Dreams. Thanks for following, man. Ouch. Probably shouldn't be using a holy-based weapon on him, though, huh? We're going to wipe him out. Nope. Keep hitting. What platform are you playing on? I'm on PC. Don't. All right, get in there. We're going to horseback fight him, which I know is kind of a weak way to do it, but I never said I was the strongest guy here. We're good? We're good? Did a pretty good job so far. This is where I die, though, right away as soon as I say that. Nope, missed. Got him. Okay, well, all right. I'm stun locked. I was absolutely stun locked that entire time. Vivid, welcome in. All right, here we go. So, will traders bargain over him? Will they divide up among the merchants? Can you fill his skin with harpoons? Could you even kill him if you wanted to? Wish you could upgrade the horse. That'd be sweet. You could put like rockets on him or something. That'd be super cool. All right, well, they divide up the merchants. Can you fill his skin with harpoons or his head with fishing spears? Lay your hands on him. Remember the battle. You will not do it again. He'll kill you if you do. Technically, you can in the DLC. The horse? What do you do? I'm here in the DLC. Behold, the hope of a man is false. He is laid low even at the sight of him. No one is so fierce that he dares to stir him up. So this is a creature that nobody will touch, nobody will attempt to go against, and neither will you, and I hold him in my hand. I both created him, and I can do all these things that I'm asking you if you can do, right? I could actually take care of all the stuff that I'm talking about. Then who is he who can stand before me? Who has first given to me that I should repay him? Whatever is under the whole heavens is mine. I will not keep silent concerning his limbs or his mighty strength or his godly frame. Thanks, Vivid, for the follow. I appreciate it. Or his goodly frame. Who can strip off his outer garment? Who would come near him with a bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? Around his teeth is terror. His back is made of rows of shields, shut up closely, as with a seal. One is so near to the other that no air can come between them, and they are joined to one another. They clasp each other and cannot be separated. His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like eyelids of the dawn. Out of his mouth go flaming torches. Sparks of fire leap forth. Out of his nostril comes forth smoke, as from a boiling pot, and burning rushes. His breath kindles coals, and a flame comes forth from his mouth. In his neck abides strength, and terror dances before him. The folds of his flesh stick together, firmly cast on him and immovable. His heart is as hard as a stone, hard as the lower millstone. When he raises himself up, the mighty are afraid. At the crashing, they are beside themselves. Though the sword reaches him, it does not avail, nor the spear, the dart, or the javelin. He counts iron as straw and bronze as rotten wood. The arrows cannot make him flee. For him, sling stones are turned to stubble. Clubs are counted as stubble. He laughs at the rattle of javelins. Do you guys have any idea what this is? Any guesses as to what's being referred to here? I'm interested to hear what y'all's thoughts are. We're not going to die this time, Dan. Okay, that was ridiculous. Not today. Another one. Oh, move out, move out. Oh. Hold on, hold on. You need to collect revered spirit. Oh, but that's just for our, like, summons. I don't think that affects Torrent, does it? Or does that help Torrent, too? Oh, move. Okay. Okay. Move, thank you. It also affects Torrent. I didn't know that. Does it just give him more health, or can he move faster? What does it do? Okay. We're going to do it. This is it. Is this going to be a strength weapon? Probably not going to be able to use it. Tuxteen, welcome in. We're doing it. We're doing it. John, what's going on, man? John Parker. 01. Good morning. How are you? He's chasing me down. We're good. We did it. We did it, everybody. Great job. More health and defense. Oh, that's a cool hat. Seems pretty heavy. That seems cool. All right, we got to keep reading. Faith and strength. Okay. We're currently faith dex, so we'd have to make some adjustments. Hold on. Going to use up some of my inventory. What did I need? Oh, I need like 20 more. There we go. Okay. His underparts are like sharp potsherds. I don't know what a potsherd is. I'm not going to lie to you. He spreads himself. We have enough. Okay. Hold on. Considering. We're going there. He spreads himself like a threshing sledge on the mire. He makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. Behold him, he leaves a shining wake. One would think the deep to be white-haired. On earth there is not his like, a creature without fear. He sees everything that is high. He is king over all the sons of pride. So there is an argument to be made that this could just be some sort of symbolic chaos creature, just symbolizing the chaos of the ocean. The explanation of it is very, very detailed for that to be the case. It could be. I'm not making an argument that it is. I just think it's just flat out like a water dragon. But, you know, that's my perspective. So, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Okay. I don't know how to counteract that. I'm assuming you just have to run through. But that's my perspective. It's very, very detailed. Very, very clearly some sort of reptile-like creature. Very clearly it can breathe fire to some degree. And it seems pretty clear and cut. This is also some of the earliest written literature in the Bible, right? Like this is during the time of the Torah, very, very early on, which I find super interesting as well. Because a lot of what's detailed... Oh, goodness. That's cool. You don't even need your lantern with that, right? And I will say, Leviathan does appear in both Psalms and Isaiah as a as like an aspect of chaos and an enemy, right? So he is used symbolically elsewhere. So it's not unheard of that would be the case, right? Can I jump this? There's no way you're supposed to jump that. Oh, I almost fell off. That was so close. It was very, very close. Oh, the other thing I'll call out, just as like these are like what I could characterize as like interesting tidbits. So behemoth, the actual word there, is essentially like a plural of the word beasts, as in the same item that was used for like beasts of the field. And it's used in like Hebrew, it's used in a plural sense to showcase like, essentially it would be similar to like beast of the beast, or kind of like when Jesus is called King of Kings and Lord of Lords, right? He is preeminent above all of them. He is like the core, or the plural is used in a singular fashion to showcase like its elevation above everything else, right? And that's literally the word behemoth is like a plural version of the word beast to showcase its like the nature of its magnificence, or its massive whatever stature, control over everything else. And so we moved up to these massive creatures, these like the core of God's creation, the biggest of the big, the mightiest of the mighty. What does this do? Okay. We did it. Yes, we do stream on the purple platform and the green one. Heavenly Breast, man, I hope you have a good day at work. Appreciate you being here. Tomorrow we're going to the very end. We're going to the 42nd chapter, which also has some really interesting stuff too. The way that God is talking to Job here, you would think that God is saying that Job has been sinful. But man, we're about to like run into some very interesting stuff that he says to the friends that I find super, super funny and interesting. So I'm excited for that. Life application though for this one. We'll go through it real quick. There are realities in our lives that we cannot control and never will. There are realities that we want to characterize as something that we could make some sort of effect on, right? This is where we get the temptation of worry and anxiety. Two things I believe truly are. It's not that, I mean, it's similar to like any addiction in our life. It's like, it's something that can feel overwhelming, like we cannot overcome it. But through the power of Christ, we can overcome everything. And when God tells us not to do something, because he says, fear not, worry about nothing. It means that when we do have those struggles, sweet. Zev, man, welcome in. Happy you're here, man. Praying for blessing for you. This is helping me to study the word, because then I have to wake up every morning and do it. It's great. What's up, Bull? Good morning. We're just fighting some scorpions over here. We also had some flying ones earlier. Coach Vaughn, thanks for following, man. And Zev, thank you for following. Oh. We're going to get him. We got him. God bless you as well, man. I appreciate it. Man, so like the biggest thing for me, the by far the biggest life application piece, and this comes up nearly every day on this stream because we're out in public and people are coming in and saying whatever they want, is that God owes us no explanation. God gives and he can take away, and he can do whatever he wants, man. And Lucas, I think that's part of the struggle, man, is it's like this is literally God allowing for it to happen. And God is the one that brings up Job to Satan, right? To the adversary, the enemy. That was gross, that thing hanging there like that. Oh, something just happened. And I don't know what. Something just made a noise. Oh, Zev, thanks for following, man. Over on Twitch. Dude, did our alerts work? Did an alert happen on screen? I was almost positive that didn't work. So if it happened, let me know. Why does God let Satan do all that stuff to Job? Because he's God, man. And I think that's one of the things that we're going to really, really struggle with is the reality that, like, man, God can do. Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Wow. All right. Sweet. Well, I guess it's working. At least maybe it's on Twitch that it's working. God can do what he wants with us, and he controls the entirety of creation. And there's a case to be made that, like, man, God has a plan that's bigger than what we can understand currently. And sometimes we get to know, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we lose family members super young. Like, I've got family that literally lost like a 3-year-old child. It's devastating. It's like, how on earth could God do that? And it's like, man, some of it can be pointed, and like the entirety of the book of Job is literally pointing to the fact that I'm not supposed to be necessarily pointing to the reason why, because I often don't know, right? That's the mistake that the friends make. The friends make the mistake of trying to point why and tell them, hey, it's clearly because you sinned. It's clearly because of this. So just repent and God's going to take care of you again, right? Just repent and you'll be totally fine again. He'll restore you. And it's like, well, that's not even true. That's not what was happening. And we have to wrestle with something much harder, Lucas, and that's the fact that, no, it's not because he had sinned. It's because he was literally righteous. His children lost their life because Job was more righteous than anyone else on the planet. Right? He literally is he's the example child that God gives to the adversary of, hey, this guy will not refuse me. And the reality is, if God brought them to the earth, God can take them away from it, man. And that's hard for us because I think we want to have somebody that's controllable, right? We have this desire to know that God is someone that I can just expect the same thing from all the time. And the reality is God is doing far more than we can understand, and things are far bigger than we know, right? He's controlling both the minutia of creation as well as the large-scale movement of the entire earth. And it's far beyond us to even understand his ways, his thinking, his understanding, his ability. And we see the outcome at the end, and that's where we're headed to tomorrow morning, is the outcome of what happens with Job. And I think a lot of us you know, that is like, man, I'm grappling with this. I'm wrestling with something, because at the end, it's not like his children are brought back to life. Like, these kids lose their lives. And it's like, I'm not arguing with you. That's a hard thing to deal with. But what I'm not going to do is shy away from the word of God, something that God has shown me is true and accurate and good and holy. And man, he is great and I am small. Like, that's the reality. He knows more than me, and I'm going to follow him because he's the only one that holds me together. And that leads us to one of the things I'd written down, which is that, man, not understanding God's rule or not understanding why God is doing something does not mean that he's doing it badly. If God is doing something that you're like, I would never do it this way, it's likely that he knows something that we don't, right? Not likely, it is true. He knows something that we don't. And so we can get caught up with like, man, well, if I was God, I would have done this. And this is essentially what God is hitting in these 2 chapters. It's like, oh, really? Okay, tell me what you would have done. If I've kept the wicked healthy and torn down the righteous, what would you have done differently? Point it out to me. Show me. Why don't you grow your splendor? Why don't you grow your glory? And point to how you would have done this. Lift yourself up above the heavens. Show me that you can do that. And I'll let you, run things for a day. Let's see how it goes. And it's like, man, praise be to God. It's not on me. Oh my goodness, we're going to die. Yeah. We couldn't do it. Praise be to God, that's not me. And praise be to God, that's not you too. I don't really want any of you judging the world instead of him, who literally sent his son to die for our sins. But it doesn't mean it's always easy to grasp the core of God's purpose and meaning, you know. Another thing, God is not overwhelmed by what overwhelms us. That's an important call out as well. It does not overwhelm God, the things that overwhelm and shadow over us and the things we're fearful of. It's like, man, he is in so much power and control. It's like the beasts that we don't even think are real on the earth, he's in control of, and he's choosing the length of their life, what they're doing, what they're not. So with that, I've got to go here in the next couple minutes. I've got to go get ready for a meeting I've got here in a little while. But I appreciate you guys being here. I'm so grateful for the group that's on. If this is helpful to you, follow, share it out with people that could find use of it as well. Tomorrow we're going to be going through chapter 42, which is where we see the culmination of the story as a whole. And I'm very excited about that. And then after that, I think we're going to move into the New Testament. So we need to come up with we're going to go through a letter in the New Testament. I can't go anywhere over here. This is a mistake. He's going to shoot a big funnel cloud at me. Does this do damage? Does damage to me. You guys have a good one as well. I appreciate you being here. I'll be here for the next live. We do it every single day, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, which for me is 5:30 a.m. I'm in Mountain Time. But I think we're probably going to go into like Romans or something after this. And then we may jump back into the Old Testament after that. We kind of go back and forth, do a little spread. Donnie, I hope you have such a good day, man. Really appreciate you being here. With that, y'all are loved. Stay in step with the Spirit. Keep Christ the center focus of your life. And we'll see you tomorrow morning